Hi everybody. I originally started filming this video at 6 o'clock this morning. It is now about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought I would give you a bird's eye view of the garden so you can understand when we're walking around where we are and how things are laid out. This is the bird's eye view of the gardens. You can see there are two U shapes joined together in the center with the arbors. So it's like a big W-shaped garden. And I am up on the roof looking down at the main perennial garden right now. And let me walk over here and I can show you what the patio looks like. And there's the patio. I hope you will enjoy this down on the ground early morning garden stroll as we look at what's in bloom right now in my garden in the first week of July 2025. I thought we'd start our tour down here by the little gazebo because with the sun hitting on it this morning, these pots are looking rather nice. So we're going to start in the back and move around towards the front. Let's go up here first. I did manage to get some of the coleus planted. Now, I started this coleus last August. I took cuttings from the coleus that I had last year and I overwintered them and I just put them in and they are looking rather good. And if we come over here, we can see there's some more. And the cuttings turned out pretty good. It was a great way, a great money-saving way to get some color in the garden. I continue to be very happy with the hydrangeas that are opening up. They're doing really, really well. Let's go back in here. If you've been following along in my videos, you know that these right here, there's two of them, are Weigelias that I did a renovation prune on earlier in the season, and I just want to let you see how well they're starting to come back. So that's going to be really nice in just a little bit of time. And if you hear me smacking around here, that's because this is early in the morning. It's only 6 o'clock, and the mosquitoes are quite vicious. Probably will even start to pick them up on the Rode microphone. Back here is the, is that fire? That's not firefly. It's a Persicaria firetail, I think, is the big plant in the back, and it's just starting to get its red flowers on it. And you see them there? And I learned about that plant from watching John Lord. He's an Irish gardener and YouTuber. And this tall, tall plant in the back is Boltonia. It's a native plant. It's going to have big white, or not big white flowers, tiny white flowers late in the season. So right now that thing has got to be at least 5 feet tall. It's kind of planted on a berm, so it looks much taller than it is right now. But that's going to be a nice fall bloomer. Montauk daisies. And I'll try and look up what the name of this little plant is. Very nice. It's kind of like the humillo, but it's a different variety. Look at them. Look at how nice they are. I've never had blue hydrangeas, so I'm thrilled. I did pick up some, oh goodness, sorry, mosquitoes, goat's beard from Home Depot. It's Proven Winners one that I think I'm going to plant. Let me come back here. Back underneath the tree, since they are kind of a shade-loving and sun-loving plant, and it will look like white astilbe, and I think having that behind the blue hydrangeas will be really pretty. I'm going to swing around here so you can see the Annabelles are starting to open up along the edge of the woods. The daylilies are starting to open. It is going to be daylily season shortly. Just so happy with the hydrangeas. I hope it wasn't just that we had so much snow this winter. The sun is coming up. Here's a knocked over thistle, but if you want to get an idea of what the flower looks like and just how prickly those things are, that's a good idea right there. There's Primal Scream, Banana Cream, and then the little verbena from Proven Winners, which I'm liking there, and the hollyhocks. A pretty pale yellow. The colors change every year on these. Some years there's a pink stand there, this year there's yellow. This was a big area of leaves that I had just used as a storage place. I managed to spread those leaves out in the garden in different areas, so now I'm going to be able to plant this area up. The clary sage continues to look outstanding. Love that plant. The Kinsley's Ghost Honeysuckle. The Cranby is done. I need to get in here later today and clip that down as I do the delphiniums up there. That's a fringe daisy. I'll put the name on the screen. It is a Proven Winners one. In the next week or so, things are really going to pop here in the garden because the daylilies are all going to start to open. This past winter, let me back up here, Siberian pea, this one branch, I'm going to try and get in here so you can see, split. I don't know if you can see, there was a split there, and we ended up screwing in screws to hold it together, and it hasn't missed a beat. So very pleased that that took the way we hoped it would. Daisy May, beautiful. The Scotch thistle, God, that one has to be 8, 9 feet tall. if not taller. There's the humillo. This is a St. John's wort that is just starting to bloom. And we're on the back side of that Boltonia that I talked about that's going to be really tall come fall with little white flowers on it. They're kind of like wild aster flowers. This is an echinacea. I can't remember the name of it. I'll try and look it up, but we picked that up at a local garden plant grower. I did buy 3 of them, but only one seems to have survived. The pond area, it looks like Stella is just about done. Probably need to get in there and deadhead that. Still have no idea what this is. It's got square stems that scares me because that usually means that it is a mint of some sort. But it's tall. I obviously planted it there. I'm thinking it gets blue flowers on it, maybe later in the season. This is a nightmare right here. This Coreopsis, it's been in this area for, gosh, 15, 16 years, and it was so well behaved for probably 12 of those years. And last year, it just exploded. And now it's coming up all in here. So this is a fall project that we're going to have to get in here and pretty much dig everything out. But it's pretty right now. And in years past, our cat Amos used to sleep right in the center of it. So there was always or not Amos, Finn. And he would sleep. He'd have a little spot right in there. He would just curl up and go to sleep. Black-eyed Susans. This is Indian Summer. That is a half-hardy annual. It's come back for me. Geranium from Proven Winners. This is Pandora's Box. Nice little flower with a dark throat. I still have some roses in bloom. Rather interesting. Some pale pink hollyhocks. Beautiful red daylilies. And then this spot, if you remember, the wind came through and knocked these plants over, so I clipped the ones in the very front here, hoping that I can get them to regenerate and maybe rebloom. But I want to show you what these flowers look like. They almost look like dandelions. But that's a Centaurea. I believe the common name is Armenian basket flower. Still have a lot of daylilies to open up. Expect that to happen within the next week, which will be perfect for my garden tour, which is on the 16th from 11 to 3. If anybody is in the area, you're more than welcome to swing by. Oh, and look what we have here. Somebody's sleeping in the daylily. We have no honeybees. Nothing. We did have a few earlier in the season, and we haven't seen any since. 1 or 2 on the clover lawn, but that's it. The hydrangeas just opened up in the past couple days. They are looking wonderful. You would never know that I get in there every year and we dig them out and give them away. The spigelia is looking really nice. Need to get more of that plant. Everybody should be growing spigelia. And these hollyhocks are looking particularly lovely this morning. I don't know if you can see down through there. You can see the gazebo. And we'll come back around this way. Some more daylilies. And the sun is shining lovely. Hopefully my shadow won't get in there. There I am on the basket and some of the Nicotiana that just keeps coming up on its own. Lady's mantle, I'm hoping that I don't have to cut it back before the tour. And you can see I did not get out here and cut back the delphinium. That's going to be on today's list of things to do. And we did tackle this tree. Took out a whole bunch of branches that were hanging down low. So now I have a nice big area to plant. Shade-loving things. That's going to be exciting. And then we're back almost where we started. So let's head back this way. Sorry for the sun. Hopefully it's not blinding you guys too much. We've decided we're going to remove this tree. We're going to try and dig it out and relocate it someplace because it just wants to lean. See, the pond is going good. I need to clip down my allium. And in anticipation of my tour this year, I divided a whole bunch of daylilies, and right now I've got them in tubs so that we can water them and keep them well hydrated, because today's temperature is supposed to be 90 something with a feeling of like 100, and we can all use to have our feet soaking in some cool water. We got hose links. I got 2 of them, love them, hate the look of them, but love the convenience. Back here is where all the daylilies were, that I've been keeping them over the season since I divided them. And I still have a bunch of stuff I need to plant. I just need to get my butt in gear and get some stuff done. That's one thing for sure. Whenever you're on a tour, it's kind of like cleaning your house before company comes. You're never as more productive as when you're on a time crunch. And we're going to come back out front here. The yucca is starting to bloom. Hopefully you can see that there. It's probably a good 6 feet tall. The begonias are doing wonderful. They look so good there. I don't know if you can pick up the pink of the tricolor beech, but that's showing up really, really nicely right now. And then as you enter the garden from the driveway, you're greeted with the red flag and the Annabelle hydrangeas. And then it looks like fall here, but every year, this time of year when the weather gets so hot, our river birch starts dropping leaves. I'm not worried about it. It's nothing to worry about. I just wish it didn't look like fall. I'm going to try and stay ahead of the shadow so that you don't see me in it. But on July 16th, from 11 to 3, I am opening my garden up to the public. So if you're in the Blossvale, New York area, feel free to swing by. We are working in conjunction with Paws for the Cause Dog Rescue, which is directly across the street. They're having an open house on this day as well. This is my daylily bed. This should be in full bloom for the tour. But anyway, they're doing an open house that you can come and meet the puppies. And I said, well, if you're going to open your house up, then if people want to walk across the street and come see my garden, maybe buy some daylilies, ask some questions, they are welcome to do so. Sorry, I don't like to see my shadow, but I can't help it. Let me come back here. You can see I've made some big dent in this leaf pile. Would like to have that all cleaned up by the time the tour starts. And then over here, this little teeny tiny daylily, it's short. It's probably only about 18 inches tall, but the flower can be a good size. It can be 5.5 inches across. That is called Jolene Nicole, old-fashioned one. And then if you look from this angle, you can see the gardens. I'm going to try and zoom in so you can get a little bit better perspective. And I think that's going to be it for today, because I've got a lot of work to do before the heat comes on. We have a vet appointment. Jada tore her ACL, so we're going to head to Wompsville and Dr. Bookbinder to see what kind of surgery can be done so she can become mobile again, because poor thing, she can't really get around very well. Here's some more of that Jolene Nicole. And we got another hose link here. This is the 100-foot one. I've got to say, I'm very happy with them. They work really, really well. And then when we put them in, let's see if you can see. Can you see this square post here? That you can buy that separately and put that in the ground, sink it in the ground, and then your hose link just sits right on top of that. But I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted the hose links to be. Again, I hate the look of them, but the convenience is really great. But they're really easy to lift off. So during the tour, if I want to move them so that you don't see them, we can just lift this right off this post and put them in the garage, so that the only thing that will be left is this metal post in the ground, and that won't bother me too bad. But anyway, I wasn't sure where I wanted them, and you have a choice when you're installing them of putting them in on a 4x4 or a 6x6, sorry, or you can set that square post down in some concrete, and then it's really permanent. But since I didn't know where I wanted them and what would be the most convenient place, we went to Lowe's and we picked up this, I think it's a 2.5-inch pipe. It's used for putting in metal fence, and that's the perfect size for that square piece, this square piece, to sit down into it. And you can see it allows this to move, and I can stretch it out 100 feet, and I can pretty much get this whole section of the garden. So that gives you an idea of how big this is. So from the hose link, from here, all the way over to back there is 100 feet. And I can also get the hose link to over here in this garden bed, which is all newly planted stuff there. So the 100 foot does a good job. Water flow is really good. So I'm happy to have that. That's helping with the watering issue right now, because as much rain as we've had, it is very dry. And the heat is just knocking everything, including me. So come back here. Take a quick look at the containers. They're doing really well. The wee white hydrangeas, they're still creamy. They're not as white as Annabelle, but they're very happy there. So I think I'm going to call that good for today. Like I said, I've got a lot of work to do to get ready for the tour. Hopefully I will get another video in before that, because it's on the 16th. So I hope you guys can get out in your garden, have a great day, and if it's warm where you are, stay inside where it's cool and drink lots of water. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Watching the video back, I realized I wasn't quite as clear as I wanted to be when I was talking about the hose link. So let me explain further how we set it up so it's not in a permanent position. We pounded this pipe down into the ground. Like I said, it's a fence post from the galvanized fencing. And then this is the piece that you can buy from Hose Link, that if you wanted to set this in concrete, you can. But we have sandy soil, so we were able to just pound this down in to the depth that we wanted. Then we just put this inside. And then the hose link fits on just like that.